Muy bien, pues para toda la banda de 89.7 FM, el día de hoy y desde cabina, quiero saludar a Amtrac. How you doing, Amtrac? How you doing, Caleb?
Yeah, doing great. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, we're really excited to have you here to talk about this extra time and well, to talk about pretty much music. But tell me, where are you right now?
I'm in my apartment in Los Angeles. It's cold and rainy at the moment, but I think we're getting out of this weather, but it's been pretty rainy for like the past week. So
All right, but it's good. It's good to be in LA. I'm sure I think it's almost as busy as Mexico City. Have you been nowadays to Mexico City?
it's been a few years pre-COVID since I've been down there, but yeah, it's a bit different. But I like Mexico City a lot. I think I would rather be in Mexico City, maybe.
I know it's just that it has so many things in common with LA. I have kind of my brothers live in San Diego, so we go to LA a couple of times. We were there last year, and it was great. But tell me about tell me about your music. Tell me about Extra Time. Tell me about this new album.
Yeah, just wrapped it up, put it out at the top of February. Really excited to start touring it. It was all made during COVID when I was locked inside, so it's kind of just like a love for labor, writing music just for myself, nothing pertaining to an album. And then once everything opened up and I got to play DJ shows again and sets, I got to test out a lot of the material. It started to make a lot more sense to me as like an album, and I saw people really enjoyed it. So yeah, now here we are. It's out, and very excited about it.
I'm sure. Tell me about because I suppose that for loads of people it was like a new learning process of doing our jobs right during COVID because we were used to like being out doing our things, and I suppose that for you doing music before it was always touring or always doing these presentations, doing studio, but at the same time like managing all together. But during COVID you had to, I suppose, change that workflow. So tell me what was different from before to that process during COVID.
Well, I spend a lot of time in my studio indoors anyway, so it wasn't too much of a change in how I normally operate, but it was like that's all I had. I couldn't go outside. You couldn't really do anything. So I think it helped me write a lot of music, and like a lot of good came out of it being like a bad time. But I concentrated on writing records, and I bought a few synthesizers during that time so I could really dive in and have something that I was like working on. So yeah, I think uh, it was, yeah, like earlier, like I said, a love for labor, kind of being forced to work on everything because
Yeah,
it's all I had. Brought out a lot of stuff that probably wouldn't have happened otherwise. So it was kind of good thing for me for writing records at least.
I'm sure. And I was listening. Tell me about because I was reading that this album you took like loads of inspiration on movies and the soundtracks and all that stuff. Tell me about that because I think it's great. I mean, we are a big fan of movies. We have a movie show here at the radio station.
Oh, right on.
So talking about this, how movies and music work, I think it's amazing. So hearing that was an inspiration, it was cool.
Yeah, John Carpenter especially is like a huge influence of mine. He went to school for audio engineering before he got into film. So I think the fact that he scores his own films, so the visual, like he might have something in mind while he's making the film that he's like, oh, it'll sound like this, which like it's a different understanding, I think, from somebody who is an audio engineer and like is a creator of music. So yeah, his stuff resonates with me a lot. And I'm big on synthesizers. He's really big on all of the Juno, like Roland sounds from back in the early 80s. But yeah, Escape from New York is like a great influence, like a great example of an influence of mine. His movie The Thing, all the soundtracks, Alan Howarth, who he worked with as well. But yeah, I'm a big soundtrack guy. I like ambient things, like no drums. I like to just kind of zone out. That's how I create as well. I do a lot of ambience before I add drums to kind of get a atmosphere and like a world, and then I kind of build into that. So I take that from movie scores, I think.
And I think it's also a good thing because, or very interesting, how when you, I suppose when you make music, the idea is also to put people on kind of like a story, you know? I mean, kind of like so that they can feel this up and down, not just like a song that vibes with you, but telling you something, right? I suppose that's also a bit like that.
Yeah, 100% story arc, ups and downs, peaks and valleys. You know, I like the ups and downs and dynamics of things. Don't like it to just be in your face the whole time. I like for people to have a moment to breathe, zone out, and like, yeah, similar to a movie in general, but without having the film to go with it, I guess.
All right. And what you're watching right now, tell me what are you what are you movies? What are you series? What are you watching right now?
I'm watching The Last of Us. Really, is like the only that's like the main. Everybody's watching that, I think. But yeah, it's great. I never played the game, but I'm a big PlayStation guy, so I don't know. I thought I'd give it a shot, and yeah, I've liked it so far. I'm not normally into the zombie thing, but it really hasn't been so much about that yet. So yeah, it's good. I think that's my main thing. And then I watched Twins last night, which is the old Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito movie. Not not really watching it for the movie score, but yeah, great movie, classic.
But it's a really on the movies it's also good to go in an up and down, you know, you go with Last
Yeah,
of Us, but before you watch Twins, so it's kind of like very eclectic how they go.
yeah,
But did you like the intro music for The Last of Us of Gustavo Santaolalla?
yeah, it's great. Really
Yeah,
creates a
right.
good atmosphere there. Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot.
I liked it. I liked it too. I was like listening to that, and I was like loads of time since we heard something of him, so that was pretty cool. And tell me about presentations, because I know you've been loads of places. You say that you're trying now this extra time out now, but what are the next presentations? When are you coming to Mexico and all that stuff?
April, my tour starts in April, so I'll be on the road. I have 3 dates, I think Tijuana, Mexico City, and Monterrey. I'll be there. So yeah, I'm very excited to get back down south again and yeah, have a good time.
I suppose that's also a thing that changed, right? Before being on lockdown, you kind of like value things when you come out again, right? I mean, things that you took it for granted, that you took for granted, and now that you can come out, like you enjoy, right? Little, I suppose, enjoy little things.
Of course. And you kind of see what you don't like because you've spent so much time inside that you're like, I don't miss this at all. You'll find something like you're like, I'd rather just like go home, not deal
Yeah.
with this. So yeah, there's a good balance, not the shows, of course, but like there's a good balance of just kind of finding out what was important during the lockdown to like what you like how you should spend your time. That's another reason why the album's called Extra Time, because I had so much extra time on my hands, and it's about having that and not really knowing what to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's also important that we had a time to realize what was important, and you were like, I suppose, saying like, oh, I wasted so much time on this that it's not important, and I should have paid more attention to that it's really
Yeah,
important. I suppose that has also changed on the presentation and on the way of doing, I suppose, also music, right?
correct. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, well,
Mhm.
it's really good to have extra time. What do you miss most about Mexico? What do you remember from being here?
Food, number one. I love Mexican food. So yeah, I mean I love micheladas and just like you make them what the right way down there. Up here we use a lot of different things, but down there I like the chilada as well. That's just the lime, salt, and the beer. Like that's my
I don't- yeah, definitely.
some nice tacos. And yeah, that's my favorite meal really. So
I know they're quite different from over there, but I like very much food from over there because it's really different, and I think it's come like a new like a new food, so it's great. And just to tell the people where they can see you, the dates, the new things, I suppose social media, but tell me where.
yeah, let me whip it up real quick. Sorry. 1 second.
It's all right.
We have Tijuana, Mexico on the 13th of May at Marco Disco Club.
Okay.
May 12th in Monterey at Mitiero Disco, and May 11th at Mexico City at Supremo.
Okay. Well,
Those-
we'll be hoping for you to be here in Mexico City. I'm not making promises to go to Tijuana, but though I would like to be in TJ, because it's amazing people what they have there. But we are hoping to see you here in Mexico City. So thank you very much for this time. Thank you very much for presenting us extra time, and for having this time with us. So we'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you on track.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Pleasure.
Take care.
Yeah, man. Likewise.
All right. Bye.